Hello, this is Mr. Sullivan. Today we're going to answer a question about scatter plots. The table below shows the number of prom tickets sold over a 10-day period. Plot these data points on the coordinate grid below. Use a consistent and appropriate scale. Draw a reasonable line of best fit and write its equation. You're going to need a ruler to answer this question, so make sure you have your ruler ready. It tells us to plot these data points on the grid below using a consistent and appropriate scale. So the number of prom tickets, the least amount is 30 and the greatest amount is 70. You got to make sure that your scale fits up to 70 prom tickets on it. If I use a scale of 1, I'm never going to make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no way I'll make it up to 70. A good scale to use for this problem would be 5. If I make each of these squares worth distance of a distance of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. I make it. Make sure you plan ahead. I'm not going to write in all those numbers. I know my scale is 5. I'll write in here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And I'll write in a 70 here. This is an actual reasons question. Somehow they decided not to leave you enough room to write in the numbers. Don't worry about it. I put these marks, each of these marks where the 10s are, right? Each of these squares represents a distance of 5. You're good to go. Some students get confused with this problem because it skips. It doesn't have 3, 4, 6, and 8, and 9. Doesn't matter. Your graph needs to have those on it. So for your x-axis, you can fit it using a scale of 1. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, my graph is now has a consistent and appropriate scale. We're good to go. Now we got to plot. So we're looking at each part of this question, making sure we do each thing. So I'm plotting these points. On day 1, 30 prom tickets were sold. I go over to day 1, and I go up 10, 20, 30. Day 2 was 35. So if that's 30, that's 35. Day 5 is the next thing we have. That was 55. So this was 30, 40, 50, 55, using my scale of 5. On day 7, if this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, I go all the way up to 60. And on day 10, I've got a total of 70 prom tickets sold. When you're doing your line of best fit, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to draw a line through the data points. You want it to be as close to as many data points as possible. And a good thing to do is to make sure that your line of best fit hits the y-axis at a nice whole number, so that when you make your equation, it's easy to find the y-intercept. And if you notice, I've got 1, 2, 3 points actually hitting the line, and I got 1 above and 1 below. It's good to try to keep the same number of points above the line as you have below the line. I'll use a different color for my line of best fit. And you just draw in the line of best fit. And there you go. You've got a reasonable line of best fit drawn. So that is done. When you're creating an equation of a line, you can use y equals mx plus b form, slope-intercept form. So you take your slope, you're multiplying that by your x value, and you're adding your y-intercept to give you the y value of the points that are on your line of best fit. Okay? So you may know this as y equals mx plus b. So I was really smart about this. I made sure that I hit these two points, so I can use these points for my slope. I also hit this point right here on the y-axis. So this point is approximately 10, 20, 25. I know right off the bat my y-intercept is 25. Now I just got to figure out what my slope is using any 2 points on the line. Right? What is to get from this point to this point, I go over my vertical distance of 1, and then my horizontal distance, I'm going up. I'm increasing to get from this point to this point a distance of 5. Because remember, I'm using a scale of 5. So each one of these squares going up represents a distance of 5, or 5 prom tickets. So in one day, I sold 5 prom tickets. Your slope is a ratio, 5 over 1. right? The x value increased by 1, the y value increased by 5 to get to my next point. 5 divided by 1, or 5 over 1, is equal to 5. So my equation can be written as y equals 5x plus 25. That's the equation of your reasonable line of best fit. So I've done every part of this question, received full credit. Try these questions out on your own. Good luck.